right, so today we're talking about relations and functions, which are a special kind of relation, domain and range, and yeah, that's about it. So a relation is a set of x and y values, or a set of ordered pairs. We'll say ordered pairs. So your domain, have we heard that word before?
That's your.
It's like what? Your domain is your x values. So that might be new, but you got to know it. You're going to be using it for the rest of your time in math. So if domain is x values, what do you think range is? Your y values. Good. So domain is sometimes called input, and so then range is sometimes called output. So there's other words you may hear. So a function is a relation where there is exactly one x for each y. Is that how it goes? I think 1x for each y. So essentially, when you're trying to decide if a relation is a function, because a function is a special kind of relation, you're just looking to see if your x's repeat. So there's a couple different ways that we test that, and we'll get to that more in a second. So examples of relations, because I said that functions are special kinds of relations. So a relation is any set of ordered pairs. So any kind of data that you've collected where you have ordered pairs. So you could have somebody's name and their height. So just because I have 3 people in here named Hunter, do they all have to have the same height? No, right? So that's where that's just a relation, not a function, right? So same thing with your age. Everybody in here is about what, 14, 15, right? Thereabouts. Somebody's 12. I hope not. But does that mean that you all have the exact same shoe size? No, because one of them does not dictate the other, right? So a function, I like to think of airplanes and airports. So if you have one airplane, can it go to 2 different airports?
No, because that don't work.
That doesn't work, right? So that one x can only go to one y. However, can you have more than one airplane go to the same airport?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, right? That happens all the time. Okay, so if you're not quite sure, that's how I help myself think about it. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but it's just simple. So, for these relations, we're going to find the domain and range and then decide if it's a function. So just to help us remember, what is domain talking about?
X values.
Your x values. What is range talking about?
Y value.
Your y values. And then to decide if it's a function or not, we need to see if the x values repeat. So I'm going to write that off to the side. I'm going to say, do x's repeat? If they do, it's not a function. Because that would be one airplane trying to go to 2 different airports. Do I need to turn off a light?
Yeah.
Y'all gotta remind me.
Let's just turn them all off.
No, we're not sitting around here in the dark.
No, it just looks brighter. The light on the thing is so bright.
Does it help if I turn this off? That doesn't make any difference, does it?
No, there's just a light. It's the glare from the...
From the projector. I'm sorry. Huh? We okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Alright. Okay, so for the first one, we want to know our domain. So we'll do the first one together before I start calling people. So your domain, that's our x values, right? So in your ordered pair, does the x come first or second? First, right? So your domain is going to be what? Anybody know? So 3. What else? 6, 2, and 1. Is that okay? Questions about where that stuff came from? We're all still good? Yeah? Okay, so then what about your range?
5, 1, 3, 7. Oh, yeah.
5, 1, 3, and 7. Is that okay? Everybody still good?
Yeah.
Alright, so the last thing we have to decide, is it a function? So we said basically just looking to see if your x's repeat. Do we have any of the same airplanes trying to go to different airports? Is that happening anywhere? No, so is it a function?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it's a function. So if your x's do repeat, that's when it wouldn't be a function, okay? Are we good to move on to number 2?
Yes.
Awesome. So what is your domain there?
4, 2, -2, 0, 4.
Okay, so since we already wrote 4, it's kind of like your grocery list. So when you're making your list for groceries, do you say we need eggs, milk, bread, and eggs?
No.
You don't list it twice, right? On the list, you're good to go, right? So I'm only going to write 4 once. If you want to write it twice, that's fine. You're not wrong. But they're not going to list it multiple times on like tests and quizzes and things. Does that make sense? Okay. So our domain was 4, -2, 0, and 4 again. What about our range? 8, 1, -7, and 9. All right. So for this one, is it a function? Why not? Your x's repeat. We have airplane number 4 trying to go to airport 8 and airport 9 at the same time. Is that going to work? No. Questions? So the next section, what's our domain for number 3?
-3, 0, 1, and 4.
What about our range?
5, they're all 5.
They're all 5, so we can just write 5 once and be done. So is this one going to be a function? What do we think?
No.
What do we ask ourselves to decide if something's a function? Do your x's repeat? No. Some of you are saying no. Why do we think it might not be a function? Because what? Somebody said it.
Range is Y. Oh, that's nothing to do.
But they all go to the same y value, right? So can you have 4 different airplanes all going to the same airport? You can. So that's why this is okay to be a function. Does that make sense? So x's cannot repeat, but y's can.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
I figured that's where you were going. Do you have any questions so far? We all so good? Is this pretty easy?
Yeah.
Good. All right, so the next section, we're going to make a mapping diagram for those. Does anybody know what a mapping diagram looks like? These guys right here, okay? So what goes in your first circle? Oh, gosh, I'm not being your x's, or what else do we call that now? Your or input or domain. That's what I was looking for. All right, so what's our domain here? What are we going to put in that circle?
3, 6, 2, 1.
I don't care what order you put these numbers in. If you're looking at them somewhere else, they're probably going to go from least to greatest. So they would probably put 1, 2, 3, 6. Again, I don't really care how you do it. What's going to go in our second circle?
5, 1, 3, 7.
So 5, 1, 3, and 7. What are those values called?
The range.
The range. Awesome. What do we need to do from here? So can we just connect whichever ones we want? How do you decide what goes together?
3, 5.
Why does 3 have to go to 5?
That's just how it is, man.
What do you mean that's just how it is? I don't understand. How do you just know? Where are you finding that from?
This freaking thing is 3 and 5.
What is this thing called?
Output.
Ordered pay.
An ordered
And
page.
then the thing is 3 and 5.
You're matching up your ordered pairs. Y'all ever play like what's it called? Where you like draw the picture and you have to guess what it is?
No.
That's what this feels like right now. Or like heads up, y'all ever played that one? Love that game. Alright, so number 2 and number 3, they're exactly the same, right? So do y'all want to try those on your own? Yeah? Okay.
Bless you.
Alright, I'm here in chat, so it sounds like we're done. Trent, what goes in our first circle over here?
4 negative 2 0.
Is that okay? Yeah. Do we need to write 4 a second time? No, because you've already got it, so you don't need to do it again. Jaden, what goes in the second circle? 8, 1, 7, 9. Okay, and then how do we connect the things?
That's -7.
4 to 8, 2 to 1.
Yeah, Jay.
0 to
0 to 7 and then 4 to 9.
4 to 9.
So this is a really good illustration of one airplane trying to go to 2 different airports. And is that going to work? No. So we already know that was not a function. Yeah? Does that make sense? Questions? Yes, we have questions? Okay, number 3. Let's see, Buddy, what goes in the first circle? Uh-huh. That okay?
Yeah.
Right.
Can we just like 5? That's what.
So all the range values are the same, right? So we can just write 5 once to make our connections. Everything's going to go to 5, right? So -3 to 5, 0 to 5, 1 to 5, and 4 to 5. So that's again showing us all these different airplanes going to the same airport. And is that okay? Yes, that's fine. So that one will be a function. Questions? We all good?
Yep.
All right, so the next part, you're given the mapping. You've got to decide what the domain is and what the range is, and is it a function? So it's really easy to find your domain and range because they're already sorted, right? Okay, so what's our domain for the first one?
4 0. 3 4 7.
There it is. Okay, what about our range?
0 to 4. 0.
I'm really bad at drawing those brackets. So is this one a function? How do we know that it's a function? None of the x's repeat. You don't have 2 lines coming out of any of your x's, so we're good to go. So that one's a function. Yes, it's a function. Yeah, that's fine. As long as you know what yes means.
Excuse me.
All right, number 2. Anson, what's our domain? 1, 2, 8, 11. Good. Samuel, what's our range? 2, 5, 6, and 7. Good. So for this one, we've got to decide if it's a function or not. What do y'all think?
I think no.
Somebody said no. Why?
What is going
You got airplane number 1 trying to go to airport 2 and airport 6. Is that okay? Is that like that's like one plane from Charlotte that we're on this plane from Charlotte and we're trying to go to Miami and New York at the same time? Is that gonna work?
Sometimes you gotta go to one and get some.
Listen,
It.
don't I know it? This summer I was trying to go to Europe and I was supposed to go from Raleigh to Philly to Amsterdam. And my flight got delayed and changed 4 different times. And I finally had to go from Raleigh to Miami to London to Amsterdam. It was awful. Yeah,
I went to Miami.
awful.
Bro, listen here. Me and my mom, we got lost in the Houston airport. That's terrifying.
I've never been to the airport.
Houston airport, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Terrifying.
I'm not lost in the
I got lost
trying to sit area.
Which one?
Yeah. Do you reporters?
I just hate the ones that are like different buildings. Like you got to take like a tram to get to.
Yeah, that's what we had to do.
That's one is in New York.
Like Orlando's like that too. Awful. All right. Are we good with those 2? Questions? Yes, no, maybe. Y'all focus, focus, focus. Are we good? Okay. The next ones we're talking about graphs. So looking at a graph, how do you decide if it's a function or not?
And the line test.
Yes.
You're a bird of the line test, right? So you could take your pencil and drop it on your graph. As long as it only touches it in one place, it's a function. Right? Some people talk about like dropping a raindrop. So like if I dropped like a raindrop, as long as it only hits once, then like you're good. Does that make sense? Whatever makes sense to you.
That's a function.
This one is a function. Yeah, the first one is a function. So we'll say yes.
So if it overlaps, it's not.
Why is the second one not?
Because I do.
If I lay my pencil down, how many times does it hit it?
3.
3 times. This was not a function.
Oh.
That all right?
Yeah.
Questions?
I'm confused on the second one.
If you draw a straight line, does it hit more than once? So it's not a function. There's a bag. Look at number 3. What do y'all think? Is that a function? No. Why not? Hits it twice, so not a function.
Yes. Yes.
Is number 4 a function?
Yes.
Yes. Because no matter like where we lay our pen down or draw our line, it only hits it once, so we're good to go. Now the next one is a little tedious because you've got to find your domain, but it's not listed for you. So what do you think might be a good idea for us to do first?
Find out our points.
I would label your points.
Yeah.
Okay? Once you have your points, then it's super easy to pull out your domain because it's just those X values, right? Okay, so let's do that right now.
What?
I want you to label all those points right now. That doesn't require talking. You should be labeling all the points. You gotta look at your paper, figure out where they are. Don't connect the dots. That's not what this is about.
Oh, I just connected it. Nice.
She's wanting to figure out.
Just tell me where all the points are. All the ordered papers.
This is not a function.
What?
No.
Are you
I
sure?
hit twice.
It is.
That's not what we're looking. That's not what we're looking.
We're not deciding that yet. We'll get there.
Oh,
But right now, I just need you writing down all the ordered pairs.
Alright, man. I'll be connected with that.
I mean, quick, do
All right, so I know some of you are not quite done yet, but that's okay. We're just gonna label them. MJ, what's this point right here? Where's that point at?
6.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said that.
Well, I didn't call on you. All right. What's this one? Braden Williams. Okay, so instead of 3 4s, you go over. So 1 2 3 4, up 3. So 4 3, negative 4 3. Is that okay? All right. What's the next point up here, Crystal? Yes, ma'am. Negative 1 5. All right. What's the one in the center, y'all? Everybody should know this one. Good.
0, 0.
All right, Brianna, what's this point? Yes, ma'am. 3 2. What's this bottom point down here, Wesley? Wesley. What's this point? I was looking at your old seat. 4 negative 1. And Hunter Moore, what's this point? 4 6. Are we all good with finding those points?
Yep.
Awesome. So our domain is going to be which values?
X.
The x's. So can somebody tell me what they are?
3 0 4 4 negative 1 negative 4 negative 6.
4, negative 4, negative 1, negative 6. I don't know if that was the same order you put them in, but as long as we got them. What about our range?
7, 4, 5.
Wait, 7, 4? Do we have a 4 in our range?
Yeah. 3.
10, 3, 5, 6, 2, 0, negative 1. I should put a comma, so that's a 2 and a 0, not a 20. Are we okay with that? Okay. So is this one a function? Why not? Is that okay?
Hey, I said that.
You did say that.
So I'm not always.
Nobody said you were dumb. Is it okay if we skip the second one?
Yeah.
Because this is the exact same thing, y'all, and I just don't want to do it again. Okay. All right, so the next two are a little tricky. I need you to have 2 different colors to write with. So like highlighters, colored pencil, something. I got a couple over here if you need one.
And what's after negative 4?
Up here, negative 1, negative 6. I've got a couple over here in the little box over here if you need them. Alright, so for these of you looking at a graph, I need you to focus because this is not easy. You're going to be confused and you're going to ask me 10 million questions. So it would behoove you to listen now. That's the SAT word. You're welcome. What do you think it means?
Pay attention.
It would benefit you. Alright, so your domain. We're looking at our graph and we've got to find our domain. So we know that domain is what? X's or Y's? X's. So if you're looking at a graph, where do your X's happen? Side to side, right? So I'm going to draw an arrow side to side. So when you're talking about your domain, domain, we're looking side to side, yeah? When we're talking about our range, are those x's or y's? Y's, so now we're going to be talking up and down, yeah? So what I want you to do is take your first color, and we're going to do domain. So we need to go the furthest to the left that we can possibly go. How far is that?
-3.
So your graph stops at -3, so I'm going to draw a big line right there. So we're essentially drawing a box around where our function happens. So for your domain, we're going to do a -3. Because that's the furthest to the left that we go, okay? Same color. What's the furthest to the right that we go? Does the graph go all the way to 2? Where does your graph stop? 1. The grid goes to 2, but our function does not go all the way to 2. It stops at 1. So we're going to leave some space, and we're going to put a 1. So you've got the furthest to the left that we go, the furthest to the right that we go. There's a little chunk of information that you have to put in between, and it's going to be the same every single time, okay? It's less than, x, less than. Do y'all remember those 2 days ago?
Yeah.
What, do you remember what this says?
-3 is less than x. Wait.
X is between -3 and 1. Is that true? Are all of our x's between -3 and 1? Yeah, okay. The only other thing that we're going to do here, we've got an open circle at -3, right? So do we need to put a line under this or leave it? Leave it. At 1, we've got a closed circle. So what should we do at 1? Throw our pen. Put an equal to there. Is that okay? So that chunk in the middle, that less than x less than, always going to be the same. Okay? So you put your smallest number to the left, this biggest number to the right, less than x less than in between. Okay? Same thing's going to happen for our range. But this time, instead of going left and right, where are we looking?
This is a different color now.
Yeah, different color, and we'll look up and down. So what's the furthest down that we go? Yeah. I wasn't even looking at you. Are we okay? Do we see how that's the furthest down that the graph goes? Yeah? Then what's the furthest up that our graph goes?
0.
0. So we'll leave some space and we'll write 0. So this time, that little chunk in between, instead of writing less than x less than, what do you think we need to switch? Does range still talk about x?
That's y.
That's all you change out. Less than, y, less than. So for both of these, it equals -4 at some point and it equals 0 at some point. So we can put equal to's on both of those. Questions? All right. So for number 2, I want us to go ahead and get it set up so that we can just fill in our numbers, okay? Yeah, that's all you gotta do. So for your domain, we're gonna have the smallest number to the left, and then what's our chunk that goes in between?
X less than,
Less than, x less than, and then we'll put our largest number. For your range, what's gonna be different? Less than, y, less than. And I should have written that smaller, but it's okay. Are we okay?
We are great.
All right, so in your color that you're using for domain, what's the furthest to the left that this one goes?
-1.
-1. Then what's the furthest to the right that we go?
3.
Well, Does it equal -1 or equal -3 ever? Yeah, you don't have open circles, right? You don't have open holes anywhere, so you're going to have equal to's on all these. Then in your second color, we'll do the same thing for your range. This time we're looking up and down. So it's the furthest down that we go. -4. And what's the furthest up that it goes? And again, it equals both of those, so we can put equal to's on both of them. Questions? We still okay?
Is that it?
That's it.
We need these colors as well.
I don't think you'll use them anymore today. You'll need them tomorrow, though. Is there anything there that we're not sure about we still have questions on? Because that's going to be on your quiz tomorrow, so you got to know how to do it. Alright, so the last thing that we want to do, we want to find the matching output for the given input. So again, your output's like your y, your input is like your x. So they give you a function rule, and they're giving you a bunch of values for x. So how can we find what y is? Plug it in. Exactly. So for the first one, we've got -2 for x, so you're going to plug -2 into your function. I'm going to write off over to the side what we're doing. So we've got 2 times -2, because that's what we're plugging in for x, plus 1. Is everybody okay with how we did that? Yes, no, maybe? If you can see it, that'd be helpful, right? So here's your function. It says that x is -2. So everywhere there's x, we're plugging in -2. So what is 2 times -2? And -4 plus 1? Somebody said it. Is that okay?
Yes.
So for the next one, what are we plugging in for x? 0. So we'll have 2 times 0 plus 1.
0 plus 1 is positive.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yes.
I want y'all to finish this one on your own. Is that okay? Too bad.
She told you.
Who needs help?
I think you said so to do this and then it's supposed to be right. And then we just solve that. And you're gonna see it like 4 plus 5. Oh, yeah. So what happens 4 plus 5? I mean 4 plus 1? You understand? Oh, okay, I got this.
Alright, so when we plug in a +2, when we plug in a +2, what do we get out?
Oh, positive number.
5. When you plug in a 4, what do you get?
9.
When you plug in 6,
13.
do we need to go over either of those? We're all good? Okay, for the next one, you've got a different function. This time it's x squared minus 4. So when we go plug in -4, you're going to have -4 in place of x. Square that, then subtract 4. So what is -4 squared? Are you sure? What's -4 times -4?
Oh, 16.
Positive 16 minus 4. 12. Is that okay? Yes, no, maybe? So then for the next one, what are we plugging in for x? -2. So -2 squared, what do you get? And 4 minus 4 gives you 0. Can y'all do the rest on your own? Can we do 0? Yeah. What's 0 squared? 0. So 0 minus 4, negative 4. So when we plug in 2, 2 squared gives you what? And 4 minus 4, 0. Then plug in positive 4 minus 4, 12. Is that okay? Do you have questions on any of that? Okay, cool.